Welcome to the Cover 4 podcast. I'm Nolan Kangas. That's Bradshaw, Furlong, Luca, Moia, and Jeff Wall. We're going to have some fun. Obviously, we're in that point of the NFL offseason when there's not a lot of stuff to talk about, but we came up with a great topic today. Bold predictions. Everybody loves them. Some of them are a little too wild. So hopefully, I was saying before the show, hopefully we have that balance that, maybe these might actually play out. But what we did is we're going to do 3 bold predictions. 2 are going to be sort of player-based and one's going to be team-based. So let's dive right in. Let's start with the players. And Bradshaw, I'll come to you. What is your first bold prediction?
My first bold prediction is Calvin Ridley will lead the NFL in receiving yards. He was 4th, I believe, to 4th or 5th last year in receiving yards. He was definitely 4th in yards per game. So he was right near the top already in the NFL. And then you got to factor in, okay, Julio Jones might not be there. That's a lot more receptions and catches and things like that available to him. You're like, oh, Kyle Pitts is there though. What about Kyle Pitts? Rookie tight ends usually struggle in their first year. So I'm really thinking like Calvin Ridley has already ascended. I think he can take that next step to, leading the league in receiving yards. And, he's going to be in a better offense. It's not going to be reliant on just him trying to get himself open. The scheme will get him open. So I think Calvin Ridley has a very, very good chance to lead the league in receiving yards this year.
Love that. And I wouldn't be surprised, especially if Julio's on the move. I would, I'd be shocked if, Ridley isn't getting 110 catches and certainly, over 1,200 yards. But I like it. That's a hot start. Luca, what do you have?
Mine's pretty close to Brad's, actually. I'm going receiver as well. I'm going Keenan Allen to lead the league in receiving and receptions. I know it might seem a bit far-fetched, but I think with the additions in this offseason, they got more mouths to feed. And they also have a pass-catching running back as well that can take touches away from him. Herbert, second year. The NFL has film on him. How will he do? The offensive line is definitely better. Derwin James is actually big. I know he's on the defensive side of the ball, but he might allow the defense to get more stops, giving more opportunities to this Los Angeles offense. I'm going to go him to lead in not just receiving yards, but also receptions as well.
I still think he's one of, if not the most underrated player in football.
Yeah.
He's absolutely incredible in so many facets of, the receiving position. Jeff, what about you, man? I'm expecting some hot stuff here.
Wow, now I can't possibly be good. But no, Nolan, no, I can hopefully meet your expectations. Okay, so there's this guy out in Cleveland who has been, in my opinion, very underwhelming, and I think he's going to continue to be. And I think this is finally where the Browns, as a franchise, are finally going to put their foot down on Baker Mayfield. This dude can go worry about being an actor. And he seems like he's going to be a good actor. So he will be okay, ladies and gentlemen. He will be just fine. But Baker Mayfield will be benched for Case Keenum. I would say right around, let's go with week 6. I think he's going to be they're going to figure out their quarterback situation pretty quickly because this guy is he's just not up to it, man. And I think that the Browns are going to realize, like, man, they can't just rely on their great scheme on offense. And even if this defense is good, it's going to be like, man, like, we need to get ourselves over the top here. And we need a guy that we can at least somewhat rely on. And Nolan, very well, Case Keenum can do some things. So maybe not, you can find some of the flash in the pan. You know what I mean? You can find something out of this guy. So I think that they will make the move. I'm not necessarily saying Case Keenum's going to light up the world, but Baker Mayfield will not be the Browns starting quarterback halfway through this season.
I think saying Case Keenum can do some things is both a slap in the face to Case Keenum and also, very underwhelming, very overstating what he can do. He is not very good. That might be too much.
This is bold. I'll certainly say that.
You think? Yeah.
But so. I guess, I'll come back to you, Jeff. You didn't see enough from Baker in the, final couple of weeks there in the NFL season and in the playoffs because he was pretty damn good to finish it off, right? He was, I would say not perfect in that Chiefs game, but he was, phenomenal. Like 1 or 2 mistakes, but he was really good. Like he had them in that game. So you didn't see enough of the playoff runs, and we know it's relationship with him and Odell they're not on the same page. They in order for them to ascend to Super Bowl threat, they have to be on the same page with your number 1 wide receiver. But you just still don't see it, eh?
Don't see it, and I just think the improvement is not there. I know everybody improves differently at different rates, but and maybe he'll be another good quarterback for another team. But I just think For the Cleveland Browns, I think it's over. And I think, hey, we've seen this with tons of guys have decent playoff runs. Nick Foles had a great playoff run. Case Keenum had some moments in some playoffs. So it's like, why not? Why not try it? If you're going to be so reliant on the run game, then and Kevin Stefanski can make some things happen. If he can make Baker Mayfield look good, maybe Case Keenum can look good again. So I think they'll just take their chance. I think they'll bank on the fact that the rest of the roster is very, very talented and that they could at the very least make the playoffs again. They can probably and possibly will take the AFC North.
All righty. So that one was certainly bold, and I'm going to come with one here that Jeff isn't really going to like. Justin Herbert will have more passing touchdowns in his first 2 seasons as a starter than Patrick Mahomes did. Mahomes in his first 2 years as a starter, 76 touchdowns. Herbert is going to have 77 in his first 2 years. He needs 46 passing touchdowns this season.
Jesus.
Keenan Allen, baby. Keenan Allen.
To beat that mark. Obviously, 17-game season. Last year, I guess that's about a 2.7 passing touchdowns per game. I think they can do that, right? He had 6 games of 3 touchdowns or more last year. Look at this schedule. They have one of the, kind of middle-tier schedule, but Dallas, Vegas, Philly, Minnesota, Cincinnati, New York, Houston, those are really bad secondaries that are still going to be in the works and trying to improve. I know that's kind of bold. Obviously, that's a ton of, passing touchdowns, but look at these other second-year quarterbacks who have ascended and been fantastic, right? Patrick Mahomes obviously sat a year behind Alex Smith that second year, learns, the NFL a little bit, 50 passing touchdowns. Lamar Jackson, obviously MVP season. Kyler Murray, the tail end of his year kind of fell off a little bit, but he was in that MVP race for a couple of weeks there in the middle of the season. I think Justin Herbert is going to be absolutely fantastic. Brandon Staley, if there's one coach in the NFL right now who is, like diving headfirst into the analytics community, it's him. And I think he's got it all right. I really like the direction the Chargers are heading. And I think it all starts with that quarterback of the future who is pretty fantastic. So that one is going to be my first bold prediction. Do we go back to Bradshaw here? Or do we go in reverse order? What are you feeling, Brad? Do you want me to go back to back?
Sure, let's do it. Okay. I got my other one. This is my player one that I thought was a little more bold. It still might not be. It's not going to be. I don't think this is as bold as Jeff's by any means now. But I think that there is a new quarterback on a new team. He didn't have a ton of success, and this one hurts me because there are a couple backups behind him that I really, really like. And it's weird to say that because they're backup quarterbacks. They're not supposed to be very good. But Sam Darnold will throw 30-plus touchdowns this year. I like the group they have in Carolina. Obviously, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore. They added David Moore, Terrace Marshall. I think they got Dan Arnold in free agency. Ian Thomas is still there. You have Joe Brady. There's an offense there for him to succeed. This is by far, not even close, the best offense he has ever had. And that's already with the chemistry that he has with Robbie Anderson. He loves throwing to Robbie Anderson. We saw that in New York. So I'm hoping, and I'm assuming that this, combined with Joe Brady, he's going to have a very, very good season. He's going to show why he was one of the best, why he was one of the best quarterback prospects in that draft. You can debate where he was now, but I think he's going to throw 30. I was going to combine it with like 30-plus touchdowns and like less than 10 interceptions, but he might go a little wild and throw some picks too. So I'm going to say at least 30-plus touchdowns this year for Sam Darnold.
I like that. It's an interesting one with Darnold, right? I would love to see him have a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. But 30, it's a big number, especially for, him. He's got to find himself on the football field, or he's not, they're not picking up a fifth year or anything like that. Right. But with the talent there in Joe Brady's scheme, I think there's a good chance, but I like that one a lot. Luca, your second player bold prediction. What do you have?
Okay, so Brad and Nolan might not like this because that would mean one of the teams they hate probably going to do better than we think, and that's the Saints. And that's because I think the quarterback that should be starting, who holds a record of 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions and just completely turns over the ball, it seems like on every play, is going to have less than double-digit turnovers total. That includes interceptions and fumbles. I think Sean Payton can turn it around. And I also think he's going to put the ball in Taysom Hill's hands a lot more. So I might give Winston's opportunity to give it away a lot less. Plus, Michael Thomas is coming back. He's healthy, good offensive line, Alvin Kamara. They didn't really add a lot of stuff on the offensive side, but I think Jameis Winston adds that level of explosiveness to this offense that was missing for the last couple of years with Drew Brees. I think it's potentially to happen. And the reason why it's bold is because this guy throws, it seems like, 25 interceptions a season. So it's going to be interesting to see what Sean Payton does with him.
I like that. I think that's really fun, and that's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, a good scheme. Bruce Arians, it was, what does he say?
Bombs away.
No risk it or biscuit, whatever the hell. But that didn't really fit Jameis Winston, who likes to risk it a lot. It didn't really pay out for him a ton in Tampa Bay, but that would be really interesting. That's certainly bold, as this is a guy who likes to turn the ball over. But we'll see what happens if the Saints. I think they're, that's going to be a really interesting situation because they have talent, but is the quarterback situation right? We'll see. Jeff, your second player prediction. What do you have?
Okay, so I think Bradshaw will like this one because obviously, there's some rumors, if you haven't seen our previous podcast about Julio Jones, that he's out of there, man. He's gone. So it looks like, you got to be throwing the ball to different people. And I don't know if anybody knew this, but the Atlanta Falcons got and drafted a new weapon in Kyle Pitts, because he should be considered a weapon, not a wide receiver, not a tight end, but a true weapon. This probably is way too bold. I think I'm over my head here, but that's what we do here. I'm going to say that Kyle Pitts breaks Rob Gronkowski's 17 touchdown record mark. I think he's going to break that. I don't think he's going to get 20. I think that'd be a stretch. But I do.
Sorry. He'll hit 18 or 19. That's not too much.
18, I mean, I think 20 would be nuts. But hey, there's one extra game, so maybe he will. But I think he's actually a pretty safe bet, maybe, honestly, to do that, because he's now like the second most explosive sure thing at the very least on this offense. I think they're going to be throwing the ball a ton because I don't think their running game is very good. I think you're going to see just how great Kyle Pitts is. I think he'll have 18, 19 touchdown catches. I don't know if he'll break the yards record. Maybe he will, but I think touchdowns are going to be looking to him a lot.
Jeff and I's predictions lining up right there. Ridley will get him down the field, and Pitts will finish the drives off. There you go. That's all that needs to happen.
That's something that they can do with Julio, right? So, it makes sense.
Ooh, that's interesting because I originally, when I was doing my second player bold prediction, I was thinking something for Kyle Pitts, and I was looking at, the rookie tight end records. I was, Mike Ditka, could he break 1,200 yards or whatever Ditka had? I'm like, I don't know. What if Julio stays and Ridley's going to get a ton of yards? And then I think it was the record's 12 touchdowns for Ditka. I was like, that's not bold enough for me. This guy's a freaky player. That is bold, Jeff, and I do like it. I think he's going to be their red zone threat for sure and the red zone target, but I like it. That's a really fun one. But I didn't end up doing a Kyle Pitts one because I just couldn't decide on it. So I went a different direction. I stayed with the pass-catching rookie receivers, but I combined it with a second-year receiver. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins will have the most combined yards for a wide receiver duo in the NFL this season. 2,500 was the highest total last year. That was Diggs and Beasley. Higgins had 900 yards last year. We already know Jamar Chase, a Biletnikoff winner, absolute freak. He has the connection with Burrow down. I don't think they're going to eclipse 2,500, but I still because that was a huge number for Diggs to get 1,500 and Beasley to have 990 or whatever he had. But I still think there's a chance. I think they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. Zach Taylor, he needs to show something here with this offense, right? He was brought over from the Rams to be this quarterback guru, an offensive mind. We haven't seen it, right? Burrow, going to be back, going to be healthy. He's got weapons galore here now, and there's going to be lots of PT for T. Higgins with A.J. Green gone. Jamar Chase, you drafted him that high. You're obviously going to be starting him on the field. I think there's going to be a pretty good shot that they can lead the league in receiving as a duo. Right now, Mike Clay, who likes doing the ESPN projections, sometimes they just seem a little low. But right now, he has Jamar Chase having over 1,000 yards and Higgins, having over 900 again. So I think there's a shot. So that is a bold prediction for me. I think that would be, pretty freaky if you get a rookie receiver in the second year being the 1-2 punch in the NFL to start it there for the Bengals. All right. Let's go to team predictions. These get a little more wild in my eyes, at least. I was a little harsh, but we'll get started with Bradshaw. Bradshaw, your team prediction, or bold prediction, at least.
Now let's see, because I kept checking. I was checking some betting odds for these things because I wanted to see okay, is this bold enough? And this this team is plus 108 to miss the playoffs, which is it's not a ton, but I'll do it anyway. The Seattle Seahawks are going to miss the playoffs this year. So obviously the Niners are going to be healthy and really good again this year. The LA Rams have a better quarterback and their offense is going to be even better this year. And the Arizona Cardinals, I am predicting to just ascend another step further and just make that an even tougher division for the Seahawks to win. The Seahawks had a ton of problems last year. We all know it. Their defense wasn't great. Their offense fell apart in the second half of the season when everyone decided, okay, well, Russ just can't throw it deep all the time. And they didn't do a ton to improve. Obviously, they got a new offensive coordinator, but I don't know how much it's going to change for the Seahawks. So I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're making the playoffs this year. So Seattle Seahawks, sorry, Russ is unhappy, and he's going to be even more unhappy when you guys miss the playoffs, and it's going to be partially his fault too.
I like that one. I was thinking about that too, just thinking, in the draft, they had 3 picks. Who's going to help that team right away? Dwayne Eskridge? No, thanks. But that one is interesting. Also, such a stacked division, right? Mm-hmm. All right, Luca, what do you have for your team bold prediction?
The team that has been to back-to-back Super Bowls, the team that got better in the offseason, the team that is just dominating the league will not win the AFC. They won't go to the AFC Championship game, and they're not going to be the number 1 seed. And I think the Kansas City Chiefs, who we all think that, it's the next coming of a dynasty or whatever. I just think this is the year that, they pump the brakes a little bit. The NFL is going to catch up. I don't care what Jeff says. I like Baker Mayfield. And I really think that if they do meet maybe before then, there's a chance that Cleveland could knock them out, depending on how, their defense comes together, because there's a lot of new starters. I think the Chargers are going to make the playoffs. And if they meet, that's a divisional matchup that potentially can go either way. But I think the Chargers could come out in that. Buffalo, I think they're getting better. Another year with Josh Allen and Diggs. So I think there are a lot of teams that can dethrone them. We don't know what's going to happen with Wentz in Indianapolis. Will he return back to his MVP year? So a lot of really good AFC teams. And I think this could be the year that we don't see the Chiefs go to the AFC Championship game and not even get the number 1 seed.
I like it. Now, Luca, obviously, times are going to change in a month or so. So we're not going to do full season predictions, but you're saying the Chiefs, they aren't going to make the AFC Championship quickly. Who do you think would be the 2 teams that are going to be there?
I'm going to say Cleveland, and I'm going to say Buffalo. I think those are the 2 teams. I think that'd be a really fun matchup.
Would be.
I would like to say New England. I think they're going to be better, but I don't think they got it. We'll see what happens with Cam, or if maybe Bradshaw's guy, Mac Jones, is coming in with Julio next year. Maybe that'll take the NFL by storm, but Cleveland, Buffalo would be my prediction right now.
Hey, I mean, you and Jeff's prediction could line up. You just Case Keenum took over. Case Keenum can do some things. Case Keenum taking him, Case Keenum taking him to the AFC Championship game, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Case Keenum has taken a team to a conference championship game, so there is a chance.
There is precedent there. This is not unlikely, guys. Jeff, I don't think your prediction was bold enough.
And Diggs would be on the other sideline this time.
Oh, that's true. There you go. Jeff, team prediction. What do you have?
Okay, so we got my favorite coach. So there's no bias here. Well, he's my favorite coach in the NFL. Mike Tomlin, coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He has never had a losing season. This season, you can't have a record of 500. So, unfortunately for him, with not just kicking Ben Roethlisberger to the curb, they're going to have their first losing record. Listen to this schedule. So, the first week, they got the Bills. Nice start. They're going to lose that one. Raiders, actually think they can pull that one out. Packers, with or without Aaron Rodgers, I actually think they lose that one. Broncos, they probably win that one. Bengals, I think there's actually a pretty good chance if Joe Burrow's decent, they could win that game as well. And then you got the Seahawks there. That'd be closer, but I will favor the Seahawks on that one. Russ has to win at some point, right, Bradshaw? Then you got the Browns going to win. Exactly. The Bears, that's Justin Fields coming out party, man. He's gonna blow up the world right there. And then you got the Lions. Okay, easy one. Chargers. Justin Herbert's going to suck, but the defense is going to be great. So they're going to lose that one. You got the Bengals again. Whether they win or lose that, they're going to want to beat the Steelers. So I think they might have that one as well. You got the Ravens. They're going to lose that one for sure. Vikings, Nolan, you'll be happy. The Vikings will win that game December 9th. And then you got the Titans. They might just be good enough still. I think I still got faith in them that they could be a winning team, so I'll take them on that one. The Kansas City Chiefs, yeah, I mean, that seems pretty simple enough. They're still good enough for sure to win that one. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind. The Browns, again, they win. And then the Ravens, again, they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I think
0-17. 0-17 is
this. They're going to lose pretty much every freaking game. No, I think they're going to lose. They're going to lose 10 games. I just think it's written in the stars, man. They've been up more than they can chew in this case. I think the defense is still good, but defense can change year to year. And then obviously, I just think the offense isn't good enough, man. I don't think they addressed enough on the offensive line to change that much, especially with rookies. It's going to take them some time to get, acclimated to the NFL level. And again, Ben Roethlisberger, he sucks. What are you doing? Throw him out. It's the NFL. You don't care about players. Just throw him to the curb, man. He's won you a Super Bowl. And we're not giving him the first one. He won you a Super Bowl. You can throw him to the curb. Fine. It's fine.
Jeff on fire. Now, I will say there was only one thing I didn't agree with in that whole rant, and you said Justin Herbert is going to suck. Obviously, I'm going to disagree with that. But we almost had the exact same thing, Jeff. I said the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be drafting in the top 5 next year. I think they have on paper the hardest schedule. And like you just did, you went through the schedule. I'll go a little quicker. I've already penciled these ones in as locks to lose. Buffalo, Seattle, Cleveland twice, Chargers, Ravens twice, Vikings, Titans, Chiefs. That's 10 losses right there. The Bengals beat them once last year with Ryan Finley at quarterback, right? The Bengals could maybe beat them once. Green Bay, if Rodgers is playing, that's a loss. Broncos, if it's Teddy playing, could be a win. If it's Rodgers via trade, yeah, obviously the Steelers are going to lose that one. Chicago, the defense is good. Justin Fields, if he has that offense going, I think that's a win as well, or a loss, obviously, for the Steelers, a win for the Bears, right? So I think there's a chance. Their floor right now is potentially losing 13 games. We know the offense isn't going to be good. The offensive line sucks. Big Ben can't throw it, 25 plus yards. Najee Harris, how much are you going to rely on him? That's not a smart game plan if you're relying on your running back the whole entire time. The defense is going to be good. We know that, but TJ Watt can't carry you the whole entire time, right? Also, no Bud Dupree this year, right? He doesn't have his buddy on the other side of the defensive line. How much is that going to have an effect? They lose some corner help too. I think Mike Hilton's obviously in Cincinnati now. He was phenomenal as a inside corner, right? So I just don't see it. I think they have a tougher division. Bengals are going to be better this year. Obviously, we went through the schedule. On paper, it is the toughest schedule in football. They're drafting in the top 5, and they're going to get their quarterback of the future in the 2022 NFL draft. That is my bold team prediction. But that about does it, right? I think those were some pretty bold predictions all the way around. 2 players each, or I guess, sort of some player combos here and there, and some team predictions. A couple teams that are usually in the playoffs, not making the playoffs, and one team, of course, that has been in the Super Bowl the last 2 years, not even gonna make it to the conference championship game. Guys, that's gonna do it. Cover 4 podcast. Of course, we have still, so many weeks until the NFL season starts. We'll do some fantasy football stuff, maybe some stock up, stock down, who we love heading into the 2021 NFL season, who not so much. Obviously, Jeff, not high on Baker Mayfield or Justin Herbert. He's going to be stocking down on those guys. But that's going to do it for this episode. Bold predictions. Bradshaw, Luca, Jeff. This is Cover 4 Podcast. We will see you guys next week.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Lingo Sports and Lingo News for a whole lot more just like this.